All right, on today's Garage Talk, we're going to find out why both of us look extremely ridiculous right now.
Yeah, it's because things are heating up where I'm at as we talk about our iRacing week and NASCAR and IndyCar updates.
And we'll go through and finish up with a little Formula One and stick around, partners. Wow. Welcome to an all new episode of F Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flock.
I'm Eric Richardson. I gotta
And
say, you got a cowboy hat on. You didn't start this, right? Should have been
I,
howdy,
I,
folks.
I debated that, but I was like, I mean, howdy, partners. Welcome to FR Racing's Garage Talk.
Oh man,
If somebody's listening to this as audio only right now, they're probably
they have
like,
no idea what's going
What
on.
is going on?" So, um,
DJ's got a cowboy hat on.
I'm
That's
wearing
why.
a cowboy hat because every time we have a race at Texas, the cowboy hat comes out, and I didn't finish on the podium. That streak was damaged last night, but still walked out of there inside the top 10. We had 21 cars in the field last night. We had a good sized field for that race.
Yeah,
So
you had a good run.
finished on the lead lap. There was some strategy goofs there and early accident. You had a penalty that sucks.
Yeah, I got busted for speeding on pit road. I was looking for the speed line to get down and it's like, wait, where is it? I'm black flagged. Awesome.
Uh,
And
I,
under green flag, that's game over.
I was trying to run as long as I could, but I saw that the group that are already pit was rapidly cutting the deficit. And I think the first group that pit was 5 seconds behind me, and they were cutting about 2.5 seconds a lap. I'm like, all right, I gotta no, we're done. We're gonna pit. And luckily I got a caution to get back on the lead lap after that. But
Yeah, I did lead a lap too, though,
you did. Yeah,
or a couple laps, I think.
yeah, that was around the time I dropped out in pit, but um yeah, so I said I would wear this ridiculous. Yeah, I pulled the earbuds from my sim rig so I could wear this stupid hat.
Hey, it
And
works.
I'm walking out of the room last night and get the why are you wearing that stupid thing again? Because I'm racing at Texas.
Yep. So those of you that can't see, dude just got his cowboy hat on. I got a
Yeah, we got to address the other elephant in
awful
the room, or the sloth
Hawaiian
in the
shirt.
room.
Yeah, so I'm in a Hawaiian shirt right now, or beach shirt, whatever you want to call it. The air compressor actually went out on the air conditioning. So I'm in
Oh,
Florida. It's a little toasty.
oh, that's a problem.
So Bet brought it out. It's a sloth drinking a beer, eating tacos. I actually picked it up for a wedding. I was in Mexico. So
It
I'm like,
seems
hey,
fitting.
this works. And knowing me, yes, I would do this.
That this hat, when did I get this hat? So I've had this hat since around 2005. So this hat's getting up there in age. And every once in a while I pull it out and have to dust it off. And I got it in downtown Nashville.
Good spot
Uh,
for it.
yeah, I was in college. I was in downtown Nashville. I thought it would be funny. A 21-year-old, it would be fun. A 22-year-old, it would. I was like, no, I was 20. No, I was 2006 then because I was over 21. But yeah, a 21-year-old college student. Hey, I'm in downtown Nashville. Let's buy a cowboy hat. That was funny at the time. Looking back on it, okay, maybe that wasn't so funny, but that's what happens when you
That's one hat
age.
I don't have yet.
The other hat I have in the closet is the black fedora, and that really gets the look when that hat comes out of the closet. And usually that hat's reserved for like wearing it when I have to wear a suit. And well, I haven't worn a suit in like 6 years. So
Yeah, I've threatened to get a fedora and then get a three-piece suit so I can be like Raymond Reddington
I,
from the show The Blacklist.
I actually do own a three-piece suit, and I have to go to a wedding next week, and I'm debating doing the three-piece suit for the wedding just
Yes,
because I just
absolutely.
I need like a pocket watch too. and a cane and a monocle. Or
I'm
got
sure you
him.
could find those.
It's like, do I want to go for the Mr. Peanut look or do I want to go for the rich Uncle Pennybags from Monopoly look?
I'd go for Monopoly.
I think I mean, getting up there in age now, I think the Monopoly look might.
You know, Mr. Peanut, you need a little bit more of a top hat.
I do need a top hat. I don't have a top hat. And I need a cane too. Actually, Rich Uncle that's his name, Rich Uncle Pennybags, is that
That was
right?
money bags.
I thought his official name was Rich Uncle Pennybags, but we will have to check real quick.
Well, there's the whole thing. Did he have a monocle or did he not? I
Yeah.
think that's what it is.
He did not have a monocle. He had a red bow tie with a white vest. Mr. Monopoly, also known as Rich Uncle Pennybags, Milburn Pennybags, or the Monopoly guy.
There we go. I was wrong. It happens a lot.
All right, so after on topic, news out of IndyCar this week. Schedule was officially released. Phoenix race is
Yep.
confirmed for March.
I'm trying to
And
find a way to get there, but because of spring training in both locations I would fly in and out of,
yeah, that will hamper the
if
yeah.
I can figure it out, I will.
But there's this whole kind of IndyCar community that we've kind of meshed with through Instagram and other contacts, and it seems like there's going to be a pretty good turnout for that from that group. So the way it's going to work is they haven't announced times yet, but the Xfinity NASCAR race will be Saturday. The IndyCar race is also scheduled for Saturday, so I have to assume the Xfinity, and then you got to mix in Cup
Oh,
qualifying.
there we go.
Yeah, you went unstable for a second.
Yep.
You're back. Um, so you've got Cup qualifying, you got the Xfinity race. They'll probably do qualifying like crack of dawn. Then you got to do the Xfinity, or then you're going to do Cup practice and race or qualifying. Then the Xfinity race probably at like noon, 1 o'clock. Then you got to clear the track, and then they'll probably do like a 5, 6, 7 o'clock race for sorry, like 6, 7 o'clock start race under the lights. So it's gonna be, and then you got the Cup race on Sunday. So that's gonna be a busy day.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun though.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend. So got the
Great
Cup.
crossover though. So however they got it set.
Yeah, you got your Cup crossover, or sorry, the truck crossover at St. Petersburg in Feb early
What,
was it late early
March
March.
1st?
Yeah, and then you got the week after you got the Cup crossover, or actually the full NASCAR weekend crossover at Phoenix. So that'll be a lot of fun.
How cool would that be to see somebody jump over because they're both there?
That would be interesting. There's another news item that I saw. Um, Sheldon Creed, Mr. Second Place, is trying to get permission next year to run the truck, the Xfinity, and the Cup Series race at San Diego
Hmm.
all in one weekend. Um, I don't. I mean, it's happened before where a driver's run three, but I don't can't think of one on a road course. Like I know Kyle Busch has done it multiple times. Kyle Larson.
Yeah,
I think.
usually you see them on the ovals. You don't see all three series on a road course that often.
I mean, I've seen it at Bristol. I'm pretty sure that's happened at Bristol. I think wasn't Kyle Busch the only time who's actually pulled the sweep of a
I think
weekend?
so. Larson's been trying to
He's
come
done two out of
close.
three, but it's yeah. So that'll be interesting if he gets permission to do that.
I just had a thought. NASCAR should make the Daytona 500 the second race of the year.
Why is that?
The first race, or like the first official race, they should piggyback with the Rolex 24 and run the road course.
Or at least maybe not a points race.
That'd be a fun race to watch.
But it's getting to the point is like when's the season too long? It's like Formula One has, they've now finished in December. Then they're doing testing. Like there's no, I mean, that's why they take a month off in the summer because there's no
Oh yeah, I
real
would
off season.
take another couple races off the schedule. I think 30 32 is about right. 36 just seems
A lot.
long.
I mean, the problem too, especially when you get later in the year, you really limit where you can go in the early and late parts of the year just strictly because of weather unknowns.
Yep.
I mean, you go to Nashville or Charlotte and you could have some pretty chilly weather potentially that early. And when they announced like Bowman Gray was going to be on like February 2nd, I'm like, well, that's going to suck for the
That could be
fans.
cold.
Yeah, that could be really cold. But it's just like, if with these late seasons, it's like you got Homestead, you've got Daytona, you've got Texas, you've got Phoenix, Las Vegas. That's it,
Yeah,
basically.
don't have much.
Unless you do some goofy, street race somewhere to bookend it, which I highly doubt you'll have a road course race as the championship event. That would be
That'd be
ridiculous.
awful, especially in NASCAR.
But it's just like even Kansas, like if you had a Kansas race in November, you could, in theory, see snow there. The last thing NASCAR needs is to cancel the championship four because it's snowing. Like,
Yes.
but
You
that's
know, I'm
that's why. Like,
seeing some grumblings that it could potentially move to a four race championship.
I also saw that they could potentially take six drivers into the championship
Hmm.
race.
I think six over four races and wins don't matter would be, I think it'd actually bring back something.
I mean, Penske's got it figured out. Like with this format, it's
Yeah,
just
current
like
format,
you
they
you
got it.
you get yourself into the championship four, and then they're going to tank Martinsville, and then they were just 100% focused on having that car ready for Phoenix. And
Yeah, when you only need to get ready for a couple races, like truly get ready, you can do a lot.
I mean, when Logano miraculously ends up back into the group of eight after the DQ, and then goes out the next week and wins at Las Vegas to lock him into the championship four,
Hmm.
that was it. Like there was no chance he was going to be focusing on Martinsville. They were just going to go out and do the bare minimum to compete.
Yeah, and that's where it's hard. You they talk about race manipulation and you have to go 100%, but when you do something like that, what incentive do you have to really try to run and fight other than
You
to
don't.
potentially tear up your equipment?
I mean, it's not the same, but similar with like you have these NFL and NBA. It's like once you got like the playoffs locked up, and it's like, all right, well, we're just gonna rest all our starters for these last two games, and uh, and then you get another team mad because they're fighting one of their opponents in that last week for a playoff spot, and then basically the other team just tanked it and played reserves, and then they miss out on the playoffs. But it's just like it's a long season. If you're relying
Yeah.
on one game, like there were other places to get upset at.
Yeah, if you're trying to win that last game to make it into the playoffs, then maybe you should have won a couple games earlier in the
No,
year.
exactly. It's the same thing of, oh, that ref cost us the game. Like, no, there's probably 100 reasons that cost you the game. The ref was
Yeah,
just
that
the
one
icing on the
play
cake.
was significant, but how many plays before that could have changed and
You put
not
your
put you in that
you
situation?
put yourself in that spot to get upset.
Yeah, so we'll see what NASCAR does. It'll be interesting.
They're gonna change something. And
I think they will.
see, Denny Hamlin got a penalty from last week's race.
Yeah.
I think there's an extra fine microscope on him and his team right now.
Oh, NASCAR is.
They can't even breathe incorrectly and they're going to get nailed. All right. So, um, back to the world of IndyCar, there was a driver signing, which again were kept secret with little Dave
Going to
Malukas.
the number 12.
So
I
that's
saw the Instagram post from Penske. It's phone call coming on 9/18, and that was the announcement.
so you had that, and then that probably links VK into Voigt. I'm sure that announcement will come here soon.
I thought I saw something that BK wasn't going to go to Foyt.
Really? I didn't see that. Well, where's he going to go then?
That's my question.
Is he had an option to go back to Coin and that turned that down. Yeah. I also saw too on Reddit that New Hampshire Motor Speedway is feuding with Loudon and another neighboring town again.
Yeah, I guess Marshall Pruitt said it on his podcast that he's 100% sure VK won't go to AJ Foyt.
I don't know where he'd go then, unless he's going to go back to Coin.
Seat going to be open at Ray Hall?
Whose seat? I mean,
Devs.
he's the pay driver. There's a reason that teams sign him. Reason why Stingray Rob continues to have a job.
Yeah, he's bringing in all the money to fix his car.
Yeah, there's a point where like the pay driver and that
You
check to
bring in
fund the
6 million, but then you spend 5 million in
yeah,
repairs.
right.
How much are you really bringing to the team?
Yep. So
Yeah, I
that
did see that. I'm like, hmm, you're right. Where does he go? I don't think he can go back to coin.
I mean, with how Coin is run and made decisions with
It could.
drivers, there's a complete possibility that all of a sudden it's like, "Ah, just kidding, I'm back."
And Stingray will return to Youngos.
Did see that.
So starting to get a couple seats filled, see where everything shakes out.
Yep. So we got a double Milwaukee event next year,
Yeah, I
and
don't
the
know how
other
I feel
big
about that.
the race is better this year than the year before.
They
Um,
did a highline practice and it paid off
yeah,
and it made it exciting.
it's like I think if they can continue to grow on that, like they did with Texas a few years ago, because there was a little bit of stretch where Texas was just awful, and then the Highline
Jimmy
practice and
Johnson
Jimmy.
driving IndyCar was probably the best thing for it
Yeah,
because
it's
they
just
found, oh, we can run more lines.
they he some of his moves were just downright scary,
Yes.
but he made them work.
Even the commentators like, oh, he
I
somehow pulled that off.
I still remember a movie pulled at Iowa where you could hear in the booth just the oh and it, made it stick like passing on the outside.
It's funny, you get like a New Garden or Power Dixon, somebody like that pulling that move. They're like, oh, that's great. But with Johnson and his limited IndyCar running, it's is this gonna work?
I mean, I'm not even sure some of those guys would even attempt something like that. I mean, that was one of the big criticisms from the drivers is that they were afraid to take chances like that because they weren't sure if they could pull it off.
I think there's about two drivers in the field right now that are willing to do that. That's Ferrucci and Rasmussen.
Yeah. And both of them have one more than the other, but both of them have received their fair share of criticism
Yes.
for their styles. But I mean, every series has got one of those guys, one or a couple of those guys.
I think you need him. Keeps it entertaining.
I've stumbled upon an old clip from speaking of entertaining from Fox Sports the other day where it was back when during 2020 and they were doing the iRacing NASCAR invitationals and like Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer were participating and the two of them, they had their rigs set up next to each other. They were spaced like, this was peak COVID time, but they were spaced like, I don't know, 10 feet apart. And the two of them are just bantering back and forth the whole time. And
Yeah, it's awesome.
it was hilarious. And then Denny Hamlin was driving and he had the camera set up behind him. And all of a sudden his, they have the triple set up and the middle monitor shuts off during Talladega. He's like, my monitor shut off. And I guess what happened is they had remotes for these monitors, and I guess his kid walked in there and picked up the remote, turned the monitor off on him, and he's like really upset. He's like, I'm really pissed about that, and like you're pissed at your kid, like dude, chill. It,
The competitive spirit.
but the other night when I forget which night it was. It might have been Monday. One of my kids was like reaching over trying to grab my phone off my rig, and I'm like, keep your face away from the wheel. Like if I hit the wall and that wheel goes, it's gonna break your nose. Like do not put your face near that, please don't.
Speaking of running into walls, Tuesday's race happened at Portland.
I mean, there aren't really that many walls to run into, but I did find one.
I ran into it twice exiting pit road.
The rain just came out of nowhere. Like it was fine, and then there it was.
Yeah, race is a little short for what I would have typically done for it, but that's
I
okay.
mean, well, it was funny is that I I coming around at the end of lap one, I fell, I don't know, 6, 7 seconds behind the group because I spun myself. And all of a sudden I hear rain as I'm coming around the final turn, but it was just, I don't know, a second too late to cut off rain tires. And the group was still going and it seemed like they were okay. So I get to the end for that turn one chicane and just step on the brake and just whole car just goes around right into the wall.
Yeah, it seemed like
And
we had about two, maybe three laps before we had to change over. Then my race just went south.
I meatballed it and I had to like hobble around and now I'm a lap down and I'm stopping for rain tires and just did not go well.
I
I,
eventually DNF'd.
yeah, I cut out about halfway through. I'm like, this is just not going well. And yeah, there was some debate on when to go back to slicks as the track was starting to dry out and some people struggled pretty badly.
Hey, that was our first rain race in league format. I think we learned a little bit. We'll make some adjustments in the future. But I think we need to see some light rain in races. We probably won't go heavier than that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard to see. Like,
And
yeah,
it's funny. It wasn't even set on heavy rain.
it is very difficult to see. There's that whole like diffuser thing that IndyCar added. I don't think that's on this model. So like instead of pushing the rain to the side of the aero screen, it's just pooling on the aero screen. And then with the clouds and the lower light, especially when you get to that one turn where you're heading to that backstretch portion of the track, I could not see that turn. I
Was
had
that
to like,
turn six?
yeah, I had to guess probably more than half the time on like where's the braking zone here because I couldn't see. But like they said in Driven, no, they can't. Nobody, your opponent can't see either.
Yep. And I think a lot of it, I just need more practice time, which I don't get a lot of right now. And what do we have? NASCAR. They're at Bristol.
Yes, they were.
I think they ran a little hard that first lap. The first few laps there, what, by lap 40, those tires were shredded.
Yeah, just that outside line with all the tire debris. That was just so unreal. They call it old school Bristol.
It was, I thought it was an okay race.
I don't know. I was entertained. I mean, I
It
didn't
wasn't
catch
the
the
one from
early.
a couple seasons ago in the spring, but It was still pretty solid. I like that there was tire wear.
The race where they decided to release an extra set of tires to the team midway through the race.
They were prepping this one. They were about ready to release another set of tires to all the teams, but they had to make sure they were all set.
And the tire strategy got very creative towards the end, where it's like, oh, you're getting two because
Yeah, a lot of right side onlys. It's cool, but somewhat unfortunate it came down to tires at the end and who had them and who didn't for those last couple laps, but still made it a really good finish.
you had a Gibbs Toyota sweep for the round of the playoffs,
Yeah, well, they keep that momentum going now.
at least until they get to Talladega.
Toyotas at a push track. I would not want to be anywhere close to it.
No,
I think right now, if I'm a driver and I see come up on a Toyota or I see one behind me, I'm yelling at my spotter, like, find me space to get away from this thing.
find me a Chevy.
I would even take a Ford.
I mean, yeah, Fords do well at those tracks. And
Yeah,
then the
they do
Chevy.
well. But the thing is, both those cars have flat fronts and rears. The Toyota's pointed, and you just can't, they can't push, and you can't push them. They get so squirrely.
I remember hearing from somebody who worked for a Toyota team when they released that updated version, and the teams were first introduced to that, like, okay, this is weird. This is and like we got to go do testing, and this is going to be an adjustment.
'Cause it's held up for several races. You just cannot push or be pushed by Toyota. They do not work.
So we've got New Hampshire this weekend.
Going for the lobster.
Yeah. Which driver was it that had the fear? Was it Hamlin?
It's either
Someone,
Hamlin or Logano. I think it's Hamlin.
yeah, I think it was Hamlin who had like this terrible fear of the lobster.
He'll like do what he can, take a picture and get it away.
Yep, and we've got Formula One is headed to Baku this weekend.
Yep. And IndyCar, wait, they're done for the
Yeah, they're
season.
done for the season.
And they have been for a couple weeks
A
now.
couple weeks now. Yep. So we get down into the fall, and we're going to start seeing some. Got the playoff races taking shape, and Formula One's probably going to have the constructors wrapped up here in a couple of races, more than
Yeah, very
likely.
soon.
But yeah, that drivers' championship that's going to go down to the end probably.
You think FIA is going to try to help out to make it go all the way to the end?
Uh, I don't know. I would like to think no. But I mean, it almost seems like with these team orders and all that
Because
controversy with that, it's
Piastri
like,
has a race in hand.
yeah. I mean, all it takes is, one bad start and a DNF, and now all of a sudden you're back even again.
Yeah, if he has a DNF and Lando wins, you're potentially looking at what, a 4 or 5 point championship.
Or just even falling out of the points. I mean, especially when you get to like Singapore,
And
we've
some
seen,
good races coming up.
Singapore, you could see some rain somewhere, and
Yeah, lots of stuff could happen. So that'll at least be entertaining to see what it goes. Maybe not for racing on track, but just for the two McLarens.
yeah, that's basically a two-horse race. Max
He's
will be
just
Max.
riding right now. But he got his GT3 license and looking to maybe run the 24 hours in Nürburgring next year.
Someone was playing a clip of him driving around that track, and it's like, this man is driving like he doesn't have a wife and kid at home.
I find it funny that he had to have like the driving instructor with him in the GT4 as he was trying to get up to GT3. He's like, You're not telling him any pointers because he's already set a track record.
Well, there's that clip that Ford put out of him driving the Mustang Dark Horse, and I forget who he had with him in the car, but it was an experienced driver. Oh, and he was like terrified with Max and how casual he was through there, but he was getting like everything out of that car. And it's just scary how good he is and behind. It doesn't seem to matter what he gets behind, and he's
No.
just exceptional.
Not even the last race. He's laughing and carrying on about McLaren's team orders with the pit stops. And they're like, Max, just race.
It's like it's none of our business, Max.
But the fact that he can do that, he's watching the big screens as he's driving around. It's just
Those are
frightening good.
those are my favorites. So it's like, yeah, I was watching the race on the big screen track. All right, I think we've hit our time for today.
Yep.
So
I think we're getting pretty close here. I got my boss coming to get me.
you got a lot of bosses now, so that's
Yeah, I do.
it's like Office Space of 8 different bosses right now. 8? All right, so thanks again for tuning in. We'll be off next week because I will be off the grid for a week. We'll be back the following week. And thanks again for tuning in at F Racing Online, fracingonline.com. And thank you to all who have donated to our AFSP Streamers Against Suicide fundraiser for September. We're not quite to our goal yet, but we're getting close.
I was gonna say, be sure to check that out, and thank you everybody who's donated so far. Hopefully, we can hit that goal and maybe exceed that, and try to help out and do our part. Thanks for tuning in, and take care.